Camera.
Robin, I can get her putting time. It's
All right over there.
oh,
It's here. You're good.
all lined up, ready.
Yep. All numbered, the whole 9 yards. There you go.
I absolutely need the tax items like.
That was the levy certification, and then there's the actual like.
Okay.
Get started. Good morning. This is the Board of County Commissioners Board Work Session. It is Friday, December 16th, 2022. It is 9:32 a.m. We are having a little bit of a late start this morning due to some technical difficulties. This session is set to go until 12:30 p.m., but we might end earlier. This is a hybrid meeting. We're in Building 1, Room 280. For public virtual attendance, you may follow. This will be recorded. Yeah, that's part of our technical difficulties. But this meeting will be recorded and posted later onto our YouTube channel. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Vice Chair Ty Menser. To the left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. Also in the boardroom, we have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, as well as Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell and Clerk of the Board Jamie Caldwell. Our agenda for today is budget adoption, and decisions are requested. I'm handing it straight to you.
Thank
Robin.
you. Thank you, Commissioner. Robin Campbell, Assistant County Manager. And it's a very interesting feeling I have this morning to be presenting the budget to you today. This is my 12th budget with the county and the 12th time I'm presenting in this room. The last time probably that we'll be doing the budget in this room, given that the board is relocating to our new building in Lacey. So it's very exciting. You know. So jumping into the budget. All of the items that you're going to hear this morning have been duly considered. You've spent many hours reviewing the budget and all aspects of it over the last 3 or 4 months. And it's an annual process because countywide offices and departments, and in particular finance staff, have been working on this for pretty much the whole year. So we are all very happy to bring this budget to you this morning for adoption. There are many parts. I'll be presenting each resolution to you for your approval. So just gonna start walking down the list. I will say that all of these items have the appropriate public hearings, the vast majority of them on December 5th and 6th, just a few weeks ago. The final deliberations on December 7th. The preliminary budget was posted and available in mid-November. And so we put those boxes, if you will, but this has been a well-reviewed budget and a thorough process. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the Capital Improvement Program, or the CIP, sometimes called the Capital Facilities Plan, or the CFP. RCW 3678.070 requires a 6-year plan as part of your comprehensive plan, and the 6-year plan must include funding. It can be adopted annually or amended at any time along with a budget amendment. So we are asking that the board approve the 2023-2028 capital improvement questions or comments?
Like you say, we've had a lot of discussion.
You said, Robin, that this is annual, no matter whether we were doing a biennial or a single year budget, like we have to do this update every year.
The board has the option to do a biennial capital improvement program, but capital projects are very fluid. So the county adopts this revised plan every year.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
No questions.
We taking action item by item, is that the idea?
But, so, yep, I'm
So I can make
waiting
that
for a
motion.
motion, yeah. Move.
Okay, then I would move to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 to 2028 capital improvement program.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Motion passes.
The second item on the list is the transportation improvement plan, rather goes hand in hand with the capital improvement program. RCW 3681-121 requires that the board adopt a transportation improvement plan. It is also a 6-year plan. And once adopted, this plan may only be revised by unanimous vote. So the plan does align with the budget in the upcoming year and with the CIP. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have about the TIP.
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. Again, for the public, we've had numerous days of discussion on this.
Commissioner Munzer?
Can you repeat what you said about what has to happen unanimously?
So for the plan, any project, any transportation project that the county undertakes must be included on this plan. And the plan can only be revised during the year by unanimous vote.
And that would be true if there were 5 commissioners, it would take unanimous vote.
Yes.
And
Also, this plan has to approve on a yearly basis, a little bit different than the CIP.
I don't have any other questions.
Sand sheds and stuff like that.
That was actually part of the CIP. CIP, not the CIP.
But, this applies more to actual projects that we have on the line, like as federal funding becomes more available. If there's a change in the project, does it still have to come like before the board? Because it's not,
If it's not in the plan, yes, it does.
okay.
But I don't know if the board will remember 2 years ago, you went through and amended the TIP because we needed to include an emergency project due to a slide that just occurred. So the board went through that process, added that project and required a unanimous vote. So that has occurred in the past.
Okay.
Okay. So is there a motion?
Move to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 to 2028 transportation improvement plan.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Oh, man.
None. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. So next is indirect cost allocation.
All right, I'm trying to fix the speakers here, the microphones. The next item on the list is the 2023 indirect cost allocation plan. RCW 4209-210 and the BARS manual prepared by the Office of the State Auditor require the allocation of costs in a fair and equitable manner, and that each fund must bear its own expenses, if you will. The cost allocation plan sets or allocates the costs of shared or centralized services, such as the prosecutor's office's civil unit that provides legal advice to county offices and departments, or human resources that provides HR to every county office and department. The common denominator here is these are internal services. And usually for things that any organization can't operate without. So this plan, the board is required to approve this plan annually. And the plan was prepared by Financial Services and reviewed by the board in the summer along with the rest of the budget preparation. Questions that I can try to answer about the indirect cost plan.
Questions?
No questions, thank you.
No questions for me.
Move to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 indirect cost allocation plan.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? No. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Everett?
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. So we'll on to the next item.
The next item is the adoption of the 2023 equipment rental rates for the Equipment Rental and Revolving Fund. Often we call that the ER&R Fund. RCW 3633A requires that every county have a ER&R fund and further requires that the Board of County Commissioners approve the rates each year. So the rates are set in accordance with county code by the Director of Central Services, that would be me. We set the rates and recommend them to the board. They are also reviewed and given the stamp of approval, if you will, by the county engineer in accordance with rules established by the County Road Administration Board. Any questions about ER&R rates?
Do, but sure, Mensah, no. On the summary by department, under Public Works, I'm seeing Long Lake, but not Lawrence Lake. Is there a reason for that?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, could you say that again? What are you seeing?
On attachment A, under
Uh-huh,
the summary by department and division,
uh-huh.
under Public Works, we're seeing Long Lake, but we're not seeing Lawrence Lake on here, and I was just wondering.
It could be that the vehicle is owned and charged to one single code, if you will, but when it gets to Public Works, they allocate the funds amongst both of the lake management districts as appropriate.
And it says 0% here, but I was just wondering, kind of,
It's not like the vehicle is only available to the one district.
okay.
So just for the, information for the public, I should have already said this. What these ER&R rates are for, it's a savings fund, if you will, for any rolling stock or large equipment that the county owns. So sheriff vehicles, snow plow, I'm trying to think of the big things, something called a yard goat, and the refrigerators in the jail. We put money into this account so then when it's time to replace these large vehicles or equipment, the money is there for us to do it. We don't have to scramble to find a way to fund them. That's the purpose of this fund.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Under public health, there's, and this is attachment B, 8926, there's not an asset description for that, but there's $43,000 for the replacement cost, but there's not a replacement year. So I'm just wondering kind of why there's
What it is.
what it is, or why there's an asset number, but not an actual asset description for that one.
So
8926.
I'll look that up.
And it's under public health.
I'm gonna have to email Jenny, so go fix it.
It's not in the materials. Okay. I don't know if Jenny's in today.
She.
Public health is requesting.
One of the new
Yeah,
vehicles.
because it's the initial investment. So it doesn't have the replacement cost yet. And I believe that
does.
was.
They
It's
have
got
a
a
description of what
Up
it
to date.
is.
Not the, it doesn't have the description or,
Because they haven't
they-
purchased the vehicle yet.
or the life cycle. But just the replacement.
But
cost.
we ought to know what it is.
That's what I'm guessing is because the public health requested a vehicle as part of the whole PIC program, as you may remember, as part of the
Yeah, but
foundational.
those
public health.
those don't go on this list yet. That's a separate item under the budget.
So
Well,
well,
When-
Jenny gets the information, I mean, or, Jenny gives us the information, could we go ahead? I mean, I'm just wondering if we need to wait for that to be filled in before we approve it.
We can certainly check on that. Before it's signed, we could
Make sure,
a description in before the board signs it.
okay, but we can move forward with the motion. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
I move to approve the resolution adopting the equipment rental rates for the equipment rental and revolving fund.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye, motion passes.
Sorry. All right, the next item on the list is the adoption of the 2023 non-union salaries. This and the next item are covered by RCW 3616-070, which directs the Board of County Commissioners to consent to all employees of the county and to fix their compensation. This resolution addresses non-union salaries because the contracts, the majority of our union contracts have not closed yet. And the board will consider salaries and approve those as the contracts are agreed to. So this is only non-union salaries and it sets the salary increase at 2.5%, which will take effect on January 1st for non-union employees.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
On that particular item, is that basically because that's what the negotiated salary changes were generally in
They're
county government?
Not been negotiated. This is for
Non-union.
There's
non-union.
no negotiation that goes on here. It's
Correct,
just an award.
that's right. The board sets the salaries.
What would it take to increase that?
To,
The reason I ask is because of inflation that we've,
Sure. So commissioners have the latitude to set salaries at the level as you see fit. So if this were to increase to more than 2.5% at this time, you'd need a vote of at least one more of your seat meets. And then I will say that should the board later on want to increase this to an amount more than 2.5% as the union contracts close, that is also your prerogative, retroactive to the first of the year.
okay, that's the reason for my question, because we haven't concluded those negotiations yet. And if we
That's
wanted to be
correct.
fair with our non-represented employees, we could bring this up and make a adjustment later on.
That's correct. The budget includes a placeholder of 2.5% for all employees other than the sheriff and corrections deputies who have both concluded their contracts.
Okay,
So the
somewhere in the
improvement is
future, we could do something.
You could absolutely increase this in the future.
Okay. I'm going to ask county manager, at least follow along with that train of thought so we can have a future discussion about fairness. Is that
Yeah.
reasonable with my seatmates?
Absolutely, and that's part of the, and in fact, the conversation that I just had with Human Resources yesterday.
Okay,
As the contracts go through the process next year, there may be a little bit of a deviation from this particular action that you may take, and at that point, you will have the option to approve the settled contracts, and then you have the opportunity to revise if you wish.
Okay.
Particular action as well.
do you need a thumbs up or anything?
no,
I mean,
no,
You're
sir.
getting some
I'm-
nods up
yeah,
here and I
I'm
just
tracking.
wanna, you're with
Right.
it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
And I was actually just having a conversation with Robin on this yesterday, so I'm on the same page as you are, so. Okay,
More to come.
And if I may add, you also have some discussions and you set aside some money for a potential one-time bonus. That is not part of this action. So that is something you may consider taking as well in the upcoming year.
Okay,
Correct. It's part of the negotiation process, but again, as Romero said, the budget does have a placeholder for one-time bonus, and then we'll adjust that as necessary once the board determines how much that bonus will be.
okay.
thank you.
I move to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 non-union salaries.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
All right, the next item, continuing on with personnel items. This resolution sets all of the positions called position control. So any items that the board approved new FTEs, increased a fraction of an FTE to a greater fraction or a full FTE, eliminated an FTE, reduced an FTE, any type of reclassifications, all of those things that were part of your budget deliberations are specifically included in the position control resolution, again, covered by RCW 3616-070, which gives the Board of County Commissioners responsibility to consent to all employees in the county. Any questions I can answer about that?
no ma'am.
No questions. Okay. And these are all not general fund, correct? They come from different funds.
Lots of different funds. Some
Okay.
are general
These
funds.
are just the
some,
position.
road, I think there's road fund, FTEs
Foundation
in
and
there,
public health,
there's
okay.
the information technology fund, lots of public health.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 position control schedule.
There a second?
Second,
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
no ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay,
All right, next item on the list is like the star of the show, if you will, the adoption of the midterm biennial operating budget. RCW 3640 is all about county budgets and how they are structured, process to adopt them. 3640-080 is the requirement for the board to set the final budget by resolution. And 3640-250 allows a county to have a biennial budget. And if it does, it requires a midterm adjustment, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Thurston County's midterm adjustments covers items such as on a routine midterm, benefits for personnel, unanticipated grants, internal service rate adjustments, technical adjustments. We allow our offices or departments to request carry forward of unspent money from the first year to the second. This budget also includes, as we've been discussing, a 2.5% placeholder for the COLA with anticipation of adjusting that should the union contracts be negotiated in a different amount. There is a road levy shift reduction of $250,000. There is an increase for insurance premiums, and that is our payment into the statewide risk pool. You are approving the purchase of elections equipment.
Robin, could I ask you a question there?
Yes.
Could you state a rough figure about that insurance risk pool increase?
That's increasing by a few $1 million.
Okay, just so the
Yes.
public knows
It
that
is.
it's
it
the
is-
cost of doing business that we have no control over.
That's correct. It's basically the bill we got from the state risk pool. We are required to provide adequate insurance for the county. And as you say, that's the cost of doing business. That is one of the biggest items in this year's budget.
Thank you.
All right, so the budget also includes, even though you had to do that big expensive thing, the board also found money for additional priorities, such as the purchase of elections equipment, additional funding for foundational public health, including the financial management of public health social services. You are providing 24/7 health services for corrections inmates. There is a pilot program for food and wraparound services for veterans. There is funding for a environmental literacy grant to the Olympia School District and the creation of the Patterson Lake Management District. So this, those are just a few of the highlights in this budget. It is robust and I think a huge benefit to every office and department, while at the same time maintaining a fiscally responsible fund balance with a look to the long-term financial stability of the county. So very well done.
Thank you. Questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Questions?
Nope.
Questions for me? With that, are we ready to move
City
forward?
manager does it.
Just a comment also, this actually includes the budget provisos. The board review and went through specifically each line item by line item, the budget provisos, which is included in attachment B.
Thought I was gonna say this.
I thought my statement was so.
It was building up and then.
There you go.
Say multi-page list.
Okay,
There were only like 3 provisos when I joined the county 12 years ago.
so with that,
I move to approve the resolution adopting the 2022 to 2023 midterm biennium operating budget.
Second,
been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
no, ma'am.
Call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
All right. Next up is the 22-23 biennium midterm adjustment to the capital budget. RCW 3640A 120 requires that the board adopt a capital budget with decisions made in conformance with your comprehensive plan. So the capital budget aligns with the first year of the CIP that you adopted first in accordance with the steps that we have to take in a certain order. So this budget provides funding that adjusts amounts for projects that are currently approved, as well as providing for new projects brought forward by Public Works and Central Services.
Um, I have a question. I don't have this, I don't think, in my packet.
The figures of-
I mean, we're going in order, right?
It's the big,
Yes,
I
got that.
that one.
Yes, but I thought that's the one we just went through.
no. We went through
We just went through the operating budget.
this one.
Okay. This is the big one we're going through right now.
I think it is the big document.
Okay,
That's the capital.
got it. I just,
Yep.
maybe somehow I got mine out of order. Thank you.
Capital budget. The appropriation of the capital budget is by fund, department, and project. So you appropriate by project.
And the road fund is in here as well.
The road fund
Okay.
is included in your
Thank you.
capital budget. Yes, it is. All road projects.
Okay, any additional questions?
Ma'am.
Answer? Okay. I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution adopting the 2022 to 2023 biennium midterm capital budget.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
oh man,
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner McMahon?
Aye.
Ready for the next? All right. We are moving on to resolutions that adjust the property tax levy. RCW 3632-140 sub 4 or 120 sub 4 and 3640-090 require that the Board of County Commissioners approve a resolution that authorizes the property tax revenue in both a nominal dollar amount and a percentage increase for the 4 county funds that receive property tax revenue. The first resolution is specifically for the levy increase to the current expense fund. The board adopted, or rather, the budget assumes that the board will adopt a 1% increase in the levy. However, the amount reflected on this resolution is less because it does not include new construction, state utilities, and other items that are specifically excluded by law. So the amount looks rather odd, but it is properly calculated in accordance with the law. Questions about this one?
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
no questions, and I've had quite a bit of dialogue about this, so
Question.
I'll ask for a second.
So we're over.
I move to approve a resolution authorizing an increase in property tax revenue in both dollars and percentage for the current expense fund.
I'll second. So moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Oh, ma'am.
I guess I'll say I'm doing, you know, I was really on the fence about it. I know it's been a hard year for our residents with inflation and gas prices. But just looking at the future and knowing that we have the comp and class study coming forward, and making sure that we have that flexibility to at least get started with it, is the main reason I'm voting for this. Because without it, it would be more unlikely that we would be able to do anything. And I feel like if we've already gone through all the work of getting this study done, that's been so needed for so long, that we at least should start working on it. And this would give us the flexibility to do it. So, that this is one of the main reasons I'm supporting this increase. So without any further discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners. Moving to the next item. This is the resolution for the property tax increase in the road fund, conservation futures fund, and medic one fund. Again, the budget does assume a 1% levy increase, which may be taken by action of the board. But the resolution itself has lesser percentages just because the way we are directed to do that. So if I could answer any questions. Happy to do so.
Okay, questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Questions?
No.
Okay, no questions from me. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the resolution authorizing an increase in property tax revenue in both dollars and percentage for the roads, conservation futures, and medic one funds as authorized by RCW 8455-010.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Oh, man.
Let's call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
All right, getting down to the end. The next item is the adoption of rates and charges for water and sewer services provided by county utilities. RCW 3694-140 gives the county the authority to manage water and sewer systems and to set their rates. These rates are have been available for public comment for quite some time now. We received, I don't think we received any comment on the rates, and Public Works indicated that the utility committees were in favor of the rate changes. So I will attempt to answer any questions about these, but I may need to defer to Public Health or Public Works.
Questions? Commissioner Edwards?
I'm not sure that I have a question as much as a comment for the public that the county didn't choose to get in the utility business. And basically, state statute refers that back to the county when these utilities run into problems. And what we're doing here is trying to make sure that in running the utility, it does pay for itself. And that's what this is all about, trying to stay current. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Menzer?
Just adding to those comments, which I agree with completely, the county's working toward a consolidation that I think for the majority of the customers will reduce rates. And so we're trying to do our best to manage these sort of heterogeneous systems that were built at different times with different technologies and are located in different parts of the county and are small and have failing infrastructure. Where we've also committed federal relief ARPA funds towards improving infrastructure, which will ultimately be a subsidy and a support for these communities and lower rates across the future. That was an initial commitment made by the board, and I think it'll help mitigate the fact that these increases are deeper than I think any of the commissioners would like to see.
Yes, and I'm in complete agreement with what both my seatmates just stated. Okay, I will go ahead and call for the vote.
Did I make the motion?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, he hasn't? Oh, thought we were in discussion. Okay.
I think that's right. I will move to approve the resolution adopting 2023 rates and charges for water and sewer service for all county utilities.
Second.
So moved and seconded. I got ahead of myself. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzler.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye. Motion passes.
And this is the last item for the budget. We are asking that the board create a new fund, 1770 for Patterson Lake LMD. In accordance with RCW 3661, the board has followed many of the required steps, and on November 22nd, created the Patterson Lake Management District. On January 10th, a public hearing will be held discussing rates and charges, taking comments on the proposed rates and charges. And we are now creating this fund so that when the money begins to come, we have a place to deposit it and we're able to manage it in a discreet and responsible manner. So this fund will be used solely for the Patterson Lake Management District to record the revenue and expenditures related to that particular LMD.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
I do. You mentioned an RCW that maybe I'm just,
That's right. RCW 3661 governs the creation and operation of lake management districts.
is there a reason that this resolution says 3640 RCW? That's
Because 3640 RCW governs the budget, and this creating a fund is a budget-related
Okay.
action. But the only reason you're creating it is because we have a new LMD.
Thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Munson?
No.
Okay, with that, all right, I move forward.
I will make a motion then to get there. Move to approve the resolution to create Fund 1770 Patterson Lake LMD.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
The vote?
Commissioner.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzler.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
Well, that wraps it up. I just want to say a huge thank you, again, to fiscal staff across the county, who have been working since last January in some offices and departments, but put in a huge amount of effort during the summer at the same time as we were working on a new finance system. The amount of hours that go into the creation of a budget it's a big lift when you're not doing anything else. And folks were involved in quite a few things this year. Also deep appreciation to the budget team. Nicole Martinez had a pre-hiring arranged vacation, if you will. So she is off with her family. Really wanted to be here when she realized this was adoption day. But it was prearranged, so I'm happy that she is doing something with her family right now. But Nicole and then Jennifer and Patty just put a ton of work and brought this budget to you. We would not have these documents available today without their hard work. So huge appreciation to the budget team. And then every office and department contributed to the process. That was wonderful. And then you commissioners, this budget, as I said earlier, is a thoughtful budget. you have taken the long view, which is not only a best practice, but hugely important to the financial health of our county. It resulted in credit rating increases from S&P and Moody's, and just positions us in a very good place going forward. So thank you very much for all of your work on this budget.
Thank you. There's, County Manager, do you wanna?
And I just want to extend my appreciation to the board, obviously, but to Robin. This is an incredible lift that it goes through every year and requires a strong leader, knowledgeable leader. And you have put us in the position once again to be having a balanced budget. And it really goes back to benefiting the residents of Thurston County. So thank you for your hard work and your leadership.
Thank you. And budget team, you get a little break and then January it starts all over again. So yes, I guess just our deep appreciation for everything. I know preparing the long list of documents that you have to give us and making sure that all of our questions are answered is sometimes not an easy feat, but definitely appreciate the hard work that goes into it. That next we have
Recess.
a recess.
I'm sorry, a recess. The next item on your agenda is the oath of office for Commissioner Menser. And that will be at 11. Judge Barkley will be joining us in this room to conduct that ceremony. So
So we're in recess till 11.
So we will be in recess till 11 and then we will pick up with Commissioner Menser's oath of office.